With the upcoming release of the Pat McAfee DLC pack for WWE 2K24, a lot of talk has come out on Twitter about this being the worst DLC pack 2K has ever released. So I decided to put that to the test and look at every DLC pack 2K has released and choose the worst one from each game. As for ground rules, the DLC must have been released for a 2K game, so 2K14 to 2K24. The second rule is the DLC must have included playable wrestlers, so no Accelerator, new move packs, or My Rise bonus DLC. I will be looking at the characters the pack comes with, and the price will also be a factor considered here. Before starting this list, please like, share, and subscribe for more content in the future. WWE 2K14 WWE Superstars Pack. WWE 2K14 is considered one of the best wrestling games of all time, up there with No Mercy and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. The first DLC pack was pretty good, containing members of the NWO like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and The Giant, who was released as a free character alongside the pack. However, the second DLC did not contain such characters. Fandango, Biggie Langston, and the Bella Twins filled out the paid pack, with Summer Rae being the freebie. Fandango had come off a major win to Y2J Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 29 8 months earlier. Big E had started accompanying Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee, being there to see Dolph Ziggler win the World Heavyweight Championship the night after WrestleMania 29, and had even just won his first IC Championship in November, which was a month before this pack came out. But the Bella Twins and Summer Rae are what hold this back for me, since, it's the Bella Twins and Summer Rae. Not helping the pack is the third DLC, containing Bruno Sammartino, Dusty Rhodes, Jake the Snake Roberts, and more noteworthy characters. WWE 2K15 NXT Arrival. 2K15 was the first WWE game to arrive on the next generation of consoles like the PS4 and Xbox One. However, it did not live up to the expectations put forth by its predecessor, 2K14. It had an abysmal story mode and lacked content in general, didn't have good character creation, and had a reduced roster size due to being on the next generation of consoles. The DLC did help to expand the roster and even gave us extra story content in the form of showcase packs. After those packs came out, though, NXT got its own turn, which came with Adam Rose, Emma, The Ascension, and ironically enough, JBL. None of these superstars would survive their time in NXT, with Adam Rose and The Ascension being buried on the main roster, the latter of which being buried at the hands of JBL and his weird friends. Emma would stay with the company for the longest, but it was clear they never had any plans for her before she was released in 2023. This pack fails because it doesn't come with any of the extra story content that the showcase packs came with, and generally costed about the same amount of money. WWE 2K16 Future Stars Pack. Welcome to the trilogy of bad NXT packs making the list. 2K16 was received much better than its predecessor, but that isn't really saying much. However, there wasn't too much DLC released for this game that fits my criteria. The Legends DLC pack came with Lita, Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, and many other great picks for DLC characters. But the NXT pack, on the other hand, came with Samoa Joe, Los Matadores, and Blake and Murphy. Joe did go on to have some minor success on the main roster with the US title run and a chance to win the Universal title against Brock Lesnar, but he never really achieved what he was capable of in NXT and in TNA before getting his release and going to AEW, where he had a good run with the AEW title. Los Matadores was somehow successful enough to get both Elite figures and a battle pack made by Mattel alongside their bull mascot El Torito, and Blake and Murphy were a very successful tag team in NXT, even being managed by Alexa Bliss at one point. However, calling this pack the future stars of the company ended up not aging too well. WWE 2K17 NXT Enhancement Pack. After a step forward with 2K16, 2K dropped the ball with the next two entries in the franchise. 2K17's DLC also had a lot of stinkers, including another Future Stars pack that aged, dare I say, much worse than 2K16's counterpart. However, I decided to forego that DLC and instead went with the other NXT pack they released, this one retailing for $10 and only giving you 3 wrestlers, Apollo Crews, Nia Jax, and Shinsuke Nakamura. To be fair to the pack, it does come with some added My Rise bonuses, but that doesn't save this pack from being considered the worst. Somehow, despite all being considered enhancement talent, all 3 are still employed with WWE today, with varying degrees of success on the main roster. But $10 is absolutely egregious at the time for 3 wrestlers. WWE 2K18 Retro Pack. Okay, this one might be breaking the rules a little bit, but despite 2K18 being one of the worst WWE games of all time, not even including the dreaded Nintendo Switch port of the game, the DLC for it was actually really good. Even the NXT pack had stars like Aleister Black, Drew McIntyre, and Ruby Riott. The Enduring Icons pack had the return of the Hardy Boys after their shocking return to the company at WrestleMania 33, so that only leaves a bunch of extra attires for characters already in the game. So take your picks and leave it in the comments below. WWE 2K19 Titans Pack. WWE 2K19.
Some good fucking food.
2K19 was a return to form that the series desperately needed, and its DLC content was also pretty good. The Rising Stars pack this year wasn't as good as 2K18's, but to be completely honest, I'm scared of Dakota Kai stands. And it also includes Ricochet, so that's good. The Woo pack was also stacked, including American Badass Undertaker, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, and a bevy of other great talent from the Golden Age. That leaves us only with the Titans DLC pack, which retailing for $10 only got you 4 wrestlers. EC3, who now reigns as the current NWA champion after burning out on the main roster, Bobby Lashley, who floated around the mid-card scene for most of his run before his apparent release only a few days before I started writing the script, and the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, now known as the Viking Raiders on the main roster. Unfortunately, these 4 Titans have all fallen, whether due to poor booking, injuries, or working for Billy Corgan. WWE 2K20. All of them, except for Bump in the Night. What the hell happened here? After a great game in 2K19, 2K completely dropped the ball and released the absolute worst wrestling game of all time. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, as there's already plenty of videos on this subject. The DLC for this game was actually an interesting concept that was just executed horribly. Instead of releasing just character packs like 2K19 and some of the other games, they would just make new showcase towers with unique stories, like in 2K15. A great concept that I almost want them to revisit, however, the execution was downright horrifying. The only reason why Bump in the Night didn't make it here is because of the Fiend Bray Wyatt's inclusion. I didn't even play the final 2 packs before I gave up on the game forever. And I even wasted $90 for the deluxe edition after how much fun I had with 2K19. But just look at the characters that they made. That's enough of a reason for this crap to be on here. WWE 2K22 Clowning Around Pack. After the horror show of 2K20, they decided to skip 2K21 and go straight to 2K22. What a sentence. The game was a major improvement, and the DLC for the game was also great. Stars like Cactus Jack, Ilya Dragunov, and Rikishi all made the game, and had some great packs overall. However, the Clowning Around pack was not so lucky. When DLC is being headlined by Doink the Clown of all people, things aren't very good for you. The pack also includes Dewdrop, also known as Piper Niven, Mr. T, Rick Boogs, British Bulldog, and Ronda Rousey, alongside the namesake Doink the Clown. Even with Logan Paul and MGK being in the whole damn pack released later on, at least that one contains guys like LA Knight and RVD. Clowning Around just brings nothing to the table. WWE 2K23 Steiner Row Pack. 2K23 was another good entry into the 2K franchise. The first DLC pack, however, wasn't great for me, only including 4 playable wrestlers with Top Dollar and Ashante the Adonis being 2 of them, 2 guys that are now either A, released from the company and in TNA, or B, stuck on NXT doing nothing besides being squashed, basically. The Steiners in their retro tag team gear was a nice inclusion, but didn't really feel like a great selling point for the pack. It just felt more like something they threw in on the side in other packs. BFAB is there exclusively as a manager card, which, okay, I guess, not really interesting. At least it comes with extra My Faction content, so that's nice. The only other pack that could compete with this one was the Pretty Sweet pack with Pretty Deadly, Gallows and Anderson, and Tiffany Stratton. With Tiffany carrying that pack alone, it is still better than Steiner Row, and I'm about 63 2/3% sure of that. And finally, for WWE 2K24, it is a tie between Pat McAfee and Post Malone and Friends. Now we come to the final entry, and probably the most controversial packs on the list, though that might just be because these are the newest ones. The DLC for 2K24 was very lackluster when it was first revealed, and it wasn't helped after making the players wait an eternity before they finally dropped the ECW Punk Pack, which not only gave us a ton of great wrestlers for fans of ACW, but it also gave us doors, light tubes, and barbed wire bats. However, the second pack of DLC didn't bring anything nearly as good to the table. As someone who didn't watch during the Golden Age or the Attitude Era of professional wrestling, none of these wrestlers really hit close to home for me. I just feel like they were wasted spots for more current wrestlers. But speaking of wasted spots for current wrestlers, hello, Pat McAfee and friends. As a sidekick of a commentator on Raw to Michael Cole and the host of his own ESPN show, Pat was allowed to be in the game and even got to have his friends there as well. According to McAfee on his show, he did ask if there was anyone else who could take their places in the game, to which 2K said no. However, after seeing his goofball friends' take on the matter,
So yeah, a lot of people are pissed, especially that D-Butch, Connor, myself, AJ are in it, because they want some of these other losers that no one's ever heard of from NXT to be in the game. Why aren't these guys in the DLC pack? Well, it's because no one wants to play with them. That's why. Okay, so
I don't believe him. McAfee and friends continue to rip on the fans, claiming this was the worst DLC pack of all time on the episode from July 23rd, and this came after McAfee spoiled that the pack would be delayed from July 24th to a week later, which I hope to make this video by. I don't think Pat and his friends understand why we were upset, though. Even with Logan Paul and MGK being DLC characters who weren't wanted in 2K22, at least the pack came with actual wrestlers that people did want. Even Post Malone's pack didn't come with DJ Khaled or whatever other people Post Malone would have wanted. This is just a bunch of goobers in McAfee who hasn't wrestled a single match since pandemic era NXT, and no, I'm not going to count his WrestleMania matches. And also, no 2K, adding a football to the game is not going to solve the problem. Now, as a conclusion to this video, is Pat McAfee and his goofball friends the worst DLC 2K has ever made? Yes, especially after the response the McAfee crew gave on their show. To me, there's just no defending it. But will I be purchasing the pack? Yes, but that's only because I have the season pass already. They're charging $10 individually for each of these packs, which is just insane, but 2K's greed is a different video for another time. But did I get any choices wrong for any of these games? Let me know in the comment section below, and I would like to thank you for watching this far into the video. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and it would be really helpful to me. I've already recorded this conclusion like 6 times. I don't know how to end videos.